Hello there. It is Tanessa Nicole here again with another little snack pack. Today, I want to talk about choices. We make choices every day, whether we realize it or not. You make a choice if you work to get up and go to work. You make a choice with what you're going to wear. You make a choice with what you're going to eat, how much water you're going to drink, if you're into that. Um, will you have green tea or will you have coffee? Will you find something already ironed to wear to work, or will you just find something that doesn't need to be ironed? But I heard a quote. Myleik said it, and she said, "The better I get, the better my choices get," and that really stuck with me. It was on one of her podcasts, and I was like, "Wow, the better I get, the better my choices get," and that was like really, I don't know, for me, it really did something because as we get older, as we grow in age, as we grow in knowledge, our choices should change. Our choices should improve. And so if you've always, maybe you're a snoozer and your first choice will be, you know what, I'm going to choose to not snooze anymore because honestly, those 5 minutes don't do you any good. I'll speak for me. Those 5 minutes don't do me any good. Um, so I don't hit snooze. Maybe your choice will be you choose to start making your bed. Again, that's not something that I struggle with. For me, my choices that I have to make, I think a lot of my external choices I got pretty down, but it's the internal ones. It's the self talk that I definitely need to improve on. And so, one of the choices that I need to start making is not playing out a whole storyline in my head that never even happened. Like if someone was supposed to call and they didn't, then I play out this whole long fairy tale of why they didn't call or why they didn't do what they were supposed to do or why someone's acting a certain way. Instead, it comes down to this is if someone continues to show you that they're flaky, then they're flaky. Like you got to believe that. You can't keep thinking that, oh, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that or maybe it's this. Because I used to be one that I was big on giving excuses for people. A family friend of ours, she's also a therapist. She told me probably about 11 years ago, but she said, stop making excuses to love people. Some people just do you dirty. Don't make an excuse to love them. Love them because you love them, not with an excuse attached to it. Oh, well, they had a bad growing up, or, oh, they were tired, or they didn't know. And so just to stop making excuses for people. Um, so that was one of the choices I had to make because like I said, I used to always make excuses for people, but I realized with me not making excuses for the good, now I play out these scenarios for the bad. And so one of the other things that I'm working on is choosing my own narrative, and I got that from my brother. We were talking one day, and he said, you got to choose your narrative. He was talking about someone else and was saying how they always create the narrative. So they control the conversation basically. And I was like, oh, that's good. And I just put a spin on it and said, I'm going to start choosing my narrative because it's up to me. I get to choose the narrative of my life. I get to choose the narrative of my story. A lot of us think that, no, life just happens. No, for me, it doesn't. I mean, maybe it does for other people, but for me, life does not just happen. Life is what I say, life is what I create, life is what I make because you get to create your own life. And that's one of the wonderful things um, about life. Sorry, one second. And so that's one of the many good things about life is you get to be better. Every day is another opportunity to get better. Every day is another opportunity to choose or create your narrative. Every day is a day to make a better choice. And so I want to encourage you that starting today, don't even like start tomorrow when you wake up, but start today and find something that you know you need to change about yourself and say, okay, today I'm going to start doing this. I don't care if you're watching this and it's 11:50 p.m. You can still start today and then let it go ahead and transfer over into tomorrow. And also what I'm going to say is write it down. Whatever you decide that you're going to work on today and it's going to be your focus for today, write that down. Again, I don't care if you're in your bed watching this. Um, Go ahead and write that down so that that's the first thing you see in the morning. So again, back to the original topic, the better I get, the better my choices get. Now, you can't make better choices without new information. So if you're not seeking out new information in the area that say you have an issue with making bad choices in, then you're probably going to slip back into the bad choices. And so I think the last one I talked about food choices a lot. And let me just stop and pause right there for a second. What I want to say is that what I like to do is bring in health as a whole, not just what we eat, not just physical health, not just mental health, not just emotional health, but spiritual health. So there's like five key components that are important. Last time I think I talked more so on the physical and nutritional health, and so this time it's more so on mental and emotional. Um, and of course, I'll probably tie some food into that somewhere because food does play a part. But for now, we're going to just focus on the mental part of it. And so that is, like I said, making better choices. And it's very possible to make the choices by, like I said, so number one, I always like to give steps. So number one, write it down. Write down what your choice is. What's an opportunity? I was going to say, where can you get the biggest bang for your buck? But it could be something small. It could be something like, I'm going to make my bed in the morning if it's nighttime. If it's not and it's not time for you to go to bed, maybe it'll be, I'm going to spend more time with my children. Not while I'm looking at my phone or at something else, but I'm going to actively engage my children. It could also be I'll get my work clothes out for tomorrow to prepare. And then let's say you're a stay at home mom, then you can still prepare your clothes for tomorrow. Whatever you're going to wear on tomorrow, it doesn't have to be, all dressed up or whatever, but to lay out your clothes, it kind of sets your day up to be a little more successful, I think. Um, and so number one, we're going to write it down, what it is you're going to do. And then number two, I want you to find some sort of affirmation. Again, I talked in the last time we met about your words and words that you speak and how important they are. And so whatever it is that you are going to work on, I want you to find either a Bible scripture on it, or make yourself a word, what do you call it? A confession, like an affirmation. And again, write it down. I would write it down and I would put it in your phone. Like if you're going to be leaving and you don't want to take that piece of paper, write it down, because I know I find for me, when I write stuff down, I'm more likely to remember it. But then I also put it in my phone so that I can go back and look at it again to read exactly what I said. And then as you find yourself going through the day and you look at it periodically throughout the day, more stuff is going to come to mind. And so as it comes to mind, I want you to then add more notes to it to see, like, how does it feel to be working on yourself? And for some people, that may be really the first time that you really intentionally did something, because if you're serious about it, you do write it down. I believe if you're like really serious about it, then you're also going to put a note in your phone, or take that piece of paper with you and remind yourself of it throughout the day, if possible. And if you can remember, once an hour or however many times you go to the bathroom. The way to ensure you go to the bathroom more is to drink more water. There goes your nutritional plug. To drink more water, because when your body is more hydrated, then you're more likely to remember things. Overall, you're going to be in a better mood. It's great for the skin and hair. That's a bonus. Um, and so it's just important to do that. And so as you begin to work on one thing, and then tomorrow, I know most people would tell you, no, keep that one thing. If your first thing that you pick is something easy, and for me, I'm going to say something easy is like making your bed, because it's just discipline. Then tomorrow, I want you to then find something else you can work on. And unless it's something like major that you're working on, every day, find something that you accomplish that you can, then at the end of the day, look at your day and say, wow, I did that. Like the making your bed, again, I say is easy, because if you do that first thing in the morning, then you're done. you're done. So honestly, I would hope you would have something else too that you're working on aside from just making your bed. But hey, baby steps are steps. Like, I'm happy with whatever